How's it going, everybody? The Dark Lord K here, and in this video, I'm going to be presenting the work I've done for St4ticFilms' Sister Location song, specifically the animated lyric video. Now, before we get into it, let me prepare myself for the occasion. Ah, there we go, much better. Now, please, take your seats. So, the first shot I've worked on for this project is the chorus, with Ballora, Funtime Foxy, Funtime Freddy, and Bon Bon. These shots went through a very tedious process, and there's a whole lot of different passes for these three shots. I'm going to show you the very first pass for the general layout for these characters, and with the first idea I had with the cameras. Now, I'm not going to play the audio for all of these clips since it's pretty much the same part again and again. And for those that are curious, yes, that is indeed the temp audio. Here I've got the general idea down with the first shot with Ballora, the second shot with Foxy, and the third shot with Freddy and Bon Bon. After I've shown this to Static, he sort of told me to tone it down with the cameras. He then later told me his vision of having each character having their own dedicated shots, and that it would give me, quote, creative freedom for different camera angles and animation ideas, and that each character would have camera motion that follows their motion better. And that was when a light bulb went in. Hold on. And that was when a light bulb went off in my head. Using some trickery I learned from my Source filmmaker days, I parented the camera to an empty and made that empty spin around the same direction Ballora was spinning, and that led to this really cool looking shot. After that, I tweaked with the cameras for the other two characters shortly after, and I started to put in some key poses for the characters. Here's where, in my opinion, things get interesting. Usually I animate pretty straight ahead, which means I only take one key pose and figure out the rest of the sequence afterwards. But for this, I wanted to try something different. I wanted to try out a different way to animate the characters in a way that'll be in sync with the rhythm of the song. And as you can see with Funtime Foxy here with this pass, their first key pose is just them standing on one side, preparing to strike the next pose here, being all theatrical since they're on the stage and everything, and then bringing it all in for the final key pose here. You know? For my first time doing pose-to-pose animation, not bad actually. I'm used to doing straight-ahead animation, that's how I've been animating for years. But I think because of this project, I'm gonna start using this new animation method more. Thanks, Static! Afterwards, I started doing the same thing with Funtime Freddy, and after getting their key poses down, I put them through a spline pass, which is basically smoothing out the rough, sudden jumps in the animation. And with a few more tweaks here and there, here's the finalized, fully animated pass of my part of the chorus. After sending that over to Static, he then put in the group chat with me and Reach Animations, the other animator for this project, a message giving us a choice between two different shots. And after a little bit of discussion, I went with the small shot with Hand Unit and Funtime Freddy, and Reach went with the shot with the Funtimes being put down with the controlled shot. I already visualized the edit in my head, oh no. For my shot, I didn't render a layout pass as I already had a plan with the animation. Following the storyboard Static provided me for this shot, I decided to pull off a little bit of animation trickery. See for yourself.
That was a strange experience. We hope this doesn't impact your thought quality.
See that? Look at that! His arms came off! Look at that! That's a little something I picked up from watching Kevin Temmer tunes. As long as it looks good in the camera view and in the final render, you can animate these characters however you want and make certain poses like this possible if you just cheat to the camera a bit. Shortly after completing the shots for the first half of the chorus, I was immediately tasked to basically do the same three shots again, but with Ennard instead. I figured, alright, just gotta do the same key poses again. And after a couple days of hard work, I unironically had a lot of fun putting these three shots together. Especially that little part where Ennard rips his mask off and screams at the camera. Oh, that was so good. But that wasn't the original idea. One idea Static pitched to me is that with the part where Bon Bon sings to the camera, Ennard would hold up the head of Funtime Freddy and make him talk like a hand puppet of sorts. I would have gone with this idea, but I thought to myself, you know what? Ennard is going to be the main and only focus of this section. It's his turn with the chorus after all. He's the one that has the talking stick. And so during the key posting stage, I threw in the idea of having Ennard take his mask off. And Static loved that idea, so I kept it in. Alright, now that the main video stuff is out of the way, I want to take this time to show you the couple of animation tests I did with the character models. Static wanted the overall vibe of this project to be expressive but not cartoony, and yet in a realistic kind of way. Here's the first animation test I did with Funtime Foxy.
I'm sorry, but did you actually seriously just say lickety-split?
I was originally planning to extend this bit with Freddy's response using the same audio, but for Funtime Freddy, I had a little bit of a different idea.
I hear a sound, see them in the dark. I know there's someone there. Why don't you believe me? Maybe you're right, but I heard a creak.
Unfortunately, I couldn't bring myself to completely finish the full section. I just didn't have any ideas of what to do for it. But since I already had the majority of it done, I might as well render it out and send it over for some feedback. Alright, that's gonna be it for me. Static, if you're watching this, I want to give you a huge thanks for letting me be a part of this project. It was a lot of fun animating FNAF characters again and not restricting myself to stay with a specific style of analog horror. Shout out to Static, Spaceman Scott, Aradia Arts, Longest Solo Ever, and Chi-Chi. You all did great work with this project. Zarek the Dog, outstanding work with the lighting, and thank you for making my shots look pretty. And Reach Animations for helping me out with animation advice here and there whenever I needed it, and I hope to work with you again on another project sometime soon. And lastly, thank you for watching. And if you're new here and want to see more animations like this, subscribe today and hit that notification bell so you won't miss an upload. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go see what this is about.